I'm not that nervous. Like, still got a little like, ooh, but all right, if the question comes, I'm gonna be there to answer it. Like, I've already done this too many times to even be too worried about it.
Go step that way. Here. Don't step that way. Or you fight for that way. Hey, what's Bill's head? Love that one. Love it a lot. Mario Barrios is a hell of a puncher. He's very explosive, dangerous hook, very dangerous. Everybody know that hook doesn't knock a buffalo out. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
He probably could throw a hook more like mine anybody seen.
Yeah.
He got that one punch shock on that left hook, deadly, and then he understands how to throw it. So yeah, that's where he is.
This is a much different version of myself, as you can see in my energy. And you could see, how taking care of your body, being a real athlete and showing a good example, you're gonna see that this fight.
Ryan Garcia isn't just throwing his left hook in camp, he's rebuilding it like it's the last weapon he has. And Roy Jones Jr. isn't there for nostalgia. He's there to recalibrate a punch that could define or derail Ryan's future against Mario Barrios. Roy doesn't talk in height, he talks in inches. Foot placement, hip rotation, guard discipline. The hook isn't about power, it's about timing disguised as violence. Every rep is a correction. Every correction is a reminder. If the balance is off by a fraction, the consequence could be catastrophic. And when Roy calls Ryan's left hook one of the best in boxing, that isn't flattery, it's expectation. Because a punch that dangerous creates pressure. If you own a weapon like that, you're expected to use it. And when it fails, people don't question the punch, they question the fighter.
Bill's a hell of a puncher. He's very explosive, dangerous hook, very dangerous. Everybody know that hook doesn't knock a buffalo out. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
He probably could throw a hook more like mine anybody seen.
Yeah.
He got that one punch shock on that left hook, deadly, and then he understands how to throw it. So yeah, that's where he.
Roy makes one thing brutally clear: stamina doesn't win fights, technique does. Conditioning can carry you through chaos for a few rounds. Skill carries you through adversity for 12. If Ryan leans on energy instead of execution, he won't just get tired, he'll get exposed.
Technique, then conditioning. Nowadays, fighters are more into strength and conditioning than technique. How that happened was people started getting lazy with technique. So they would have technique, like you have a lot of guys that would have a technique, but they wouldn't be conditioned. So they come to the ring, and they look good for a few rounds, then they die off. The better conditioned guy win the fight. So what started happening was a lot of guys that had technique were getting beat by guys that didn't have the same technique, but had better conditioning. So what happens? Boxing transitioned from a skill sport to a better conditioned sport. So now people forget about technique, but they work on more on condition. Condition becomes the.
Ryan admits something most fighters never say out loud. He lost focus. Not in the ring, in life. Distractions, noise, parties, ego. Talent kept him afloat, but discipline drifted. And in boxing, drifting always leads somewhere dangerous.
Suspension, it was much different circumstances. I was coming off a suspension, and during that suspension, I was drinking and partying and doing whatever I want for all the way through until they told me that I had to fight. My instincts told me not to. My body wasn't well, it had a lot of toxins in it, as you could imagine. A lot of stupid shit I did. But when you have a lot of people in your ear and people are telling you can make $5 million, it's an easy fight, and but internally that it's not the right decision, and I didn't trust my heart and didn't trust my instincts, and I paid the price for it.
So you say that you knew that it was not the right thing to do. Was there a moment in training camp or the week of the fight where you thought, man, I really think I might lose?
Oh, every day.
Really?
Every day.
Now the tone is different. Fewer voices, more accountability. The right people, the right pressure. Motivation feels sharper when you know you've wasted time before. This camp isn't about excitement. It's about correction.
Gonna have to lose 30 pounds, remember how to box, and try to get sharp all in 2 months. And I don't even know how my body's gonna react. And it wasn't reacting. Every 2 days, it would just shut down. Runs didn't feel right. Nothing felt correct as it should. And I'm not blaming anybody. You come to find out, you know, whatever was happening in the Haney fight, it will never be replicated again. You can't do that. I still don't know to this
That was
day
crazy, yeah.
how I was able to drink and do whatever I wanted and somehow still win. I just wanted to make a mockery of Devin Haney.
Roy doesn't just see talent, he sees volatility. Ryan makes fights compelling because he fights like something is always at stake. That's rare. But excitement without structure becomes recklessness. And recklessness doesn't age well in elite matchups.
Take your head off to that kid because he's one that's out there doing like what I used to do. He fighting them all. He don't care who they are, where they are. If he get paid for it, he'll fight. And that's a beautiful thing. That is what boxing has been missing. You understand me? So it's like, I don't care who he fights. It's going to be an instant fight, and he has a chance to beat anybody because he's dead.
Chris Algieri points to something deeper than technique, personality. Boxing isn't just coach and fighter, it's ego management. Strong personalities can create greatness or combustion. Father-son pairings have built champions and broken them. When two strong wills collide, the outcome isn't predictable. It's unstable.
I think every case is its own, every case is unique, and Ryan is especially unique. Champ, you mentioned culture versus personality. I think it's much more personality than culture, because we've seen culturally it work with Mexican father-son duos. I mean, we have Robert Garcia here, his father trained him, and Mikey Garcia, it worked. You know, and then you've got, you know, even like Roy Jones versus Floyd Mayweather. Roy Jones's father, you know, butting heads. You know, Floyd and his father butting heads. Uncle worked out great. Roger and Floyd worked out beautifully. But the fathers, they hit heads together. Then you got, even today, you got Naoya Inoue and his father. His father's fantastic. Yep. Trains both him and his brother, and to great success. And it seems like there doesn't seem like there's much friction there, at least that we've seen. So I don't think it's so much cultural as much as it is personality. And in terms of their personalities, Ryan has a very large personality. Apparently so does his father.
Algieri notes the uncomfortable truth. Ryan hasn't always embraced structure, training casually, environment loosely controlled, discipline inconsistent. That's dangerous at this level. The hope is that returning to a more traditional, more grounded camp can restore what once made him elite. But hope alone doesn't fix habits.
Lean back on their history, to which case Ryan could actually perform at a very high level again. In recent form, Ryan has had a lot of trouble with coaching. Listening to what he's going to do, showing up to the gym. He'd rather train, it seems like, in his living room, you know, wearing sweatpants and you know, whoever's around with influencers. Maybe his father can crack him out of that and get him back to a more traditional training style like we've seen him in the past, when he was on a really good run at some point, you know, at a point a few years ago where he looked like he really could take over, and then things kind of fell off. So possibly the father-son duo this time could work once again, because it has worked in the past.
When you look at this, all we need now is a coach with some experience. Oh, we have Coach Robert Garcia. What's the secret sauce here? Is there one? Is it about knowing when to be dad and when to be coach? Is there a secret here? Is it just, as the guys have pointed out, a matter of personality?
Analysts keep circling the same concern. Talent isn't the issue. Focus is. Marketability doesn't block punches. Flash doesn't replace fundamentals. And when you lose a fight, you were supposed to dominate. The aura doesn't crack, it shatters.
Tank Davis, elite level counterpuncher. That's Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist. They're much more talented fighters than Mario Barrios. But then I take you to his most recent outing, and you know, he lost this fight. It's the reason people are like, how on earth does he have a world title shot in his next fight? Well, that's what being good looking in a massive commercial pool does for you. But I take you to the Rolly Romero fight, and Romero is okay, but he's not an elite level fighter in my opinion, but he was someone who had sparred a lot of rounds with Ryan Garcia and understood Ryan Garcia as a fighter. And again, he shows you the way here with effective counterpunching and isolating those weaknesses of Ryan Garcia. So what you'll see here in the Romero fight, and what I really like about Rolly here, is that he's not afraid of Ryan Garcia rushing him. And Ryan Garcia wants to do what Ryan Garcia does. Those things we explained before. He likes to press the action. And it's early in the fight. And this made him so apprehensive for the rest of the fight that he lost. As you can see, Ryan Garcia, he steps into the here. And even though Ryan Garcia is right in front of him, Rolly knows Ryan's probably looking for that lead hook. It's what
Look back at the Romero fight. It wasn't about power. It was about predictability. Romero understood Ryan's rhythm. He didn't chase him. He waited. Tight guard. Smart counters. Ryan's aggression became a liability. And once hesitation enters the equation, momentum leaves the building.
But that culminated in the Romero fight because Ryan Garcia was expected to beat Rolly Romero. He's not seen as being the best operator out there, Rolly Romero. And I guess it shows you that a fighter who's not even top level can exploit Ryan Garcia with the right game plan. So can Mario Barrios do it? And what can Ryan Garcia do about it? Can he change? Can he fix these problems? Well, even though I don't think he's particularly consistent with his counter-punching Barrios, he has shown in moments he can do it. And so if Ryan Garcia remains the same, I think there's a chance he can execute this. I'll show you in this fight here against Akhmadov, when Barrios was down at super lightweight. Watch here. So he steps in with the jab, which misses. Akhmadov then returns with his own backhand, which Barrios pulls back from. And then in that moment, you can see his right hand here is away from his chin, a la Ryan Garcia, I suppose you could say. Barrios catches him with a counter left hook, which is the exact position that Ryan Garcia has been a little bit weakened, and he touches down there, Akhmadov. Against Ugas, we see him land a nice counter jab here as Ugas fires his jab, he catches it, throws his own jab up.
Even Bradley sees layers most fans ignore. He understands that Mario Barrios has access to something dangerous. Insight. A coach who knows Ryan's tendencies, knows his habits, knows where the openings appear when the pace increases. Barrios isn't flashy. He's composed. And composed fighters punish impatience.
Things I want to start off with, the coach. Goosen's in Barrios' corner. That's going to be interesting in the sense that fact that Goosen knows Ryan Garcia. He knows his Achilles heel, man. He knows it. And, Goosen knows he has a horse that is not only tough, but he's well-rounded. Mario Barrios can fight a little bit, fight off the back foot a little bit. He can do a little bit of everything. Counter punch, slip counters, blocking shoots, catching shoots. Like he got a bag. He does. He's average in every single department. Got a really good jab, a hell of a right hand, man. That right hand is gonna be money for him in this fight. I would also say the left hook, to be honest with you. I think one of the most ironic things about Ryan Garcia is you never want to hook with a hooker, but as I follow the evolution of him and his craft.
Bradley highlights a detail most overlooked. Ryan's devastating left hook works both ways. Offensive brilliance doesn't guarantee defensive awareness. History shows fighters who mastered the hook often struggled to defend it. If Barrios times his own correctly, the narrative shifts instantly.
Get buzzed by the left hook. Barrios isn't a bad puncher. He's a pretty good, solid puncher. But the left hook is dangerous to punch with Ryan Garcia with the left hook. However, I've seen Haney do it. I don't know, for some apparent reason, guys that know how to throw that left hook, they sucker for left hooks themselves. I remember De La Hoya being a sucker for the left hook as well. They're really good at landing their left hook, but shit, they don't do well with taking one in return. But the punch for Barrios is the right hand. And he will have opportunities to land it on Ryan Garcia, because Ryan, he shoots his jab and he brings his hand back low. And then he stands up tall as well. So he's always having his, chin, straight up in the air. And, most of the times he'll flick the jab out there or shoot the jab out there. And then he looks to get out of range.
Ryan reflects on something more personal. His body resisted him. Workouts drained him. 30 extra pounds don't disappear overnight. Even worse, watching tape back and not recognizing yourself. That disconnect is scarier than getting hit, because it means something deeper was off.
Because in the training camp, I couldn't train hard or good for more than 2 days straight. My body would be like rejecting a run, rejecting anything I was doing. It was like, damn, like what's wrong with me? I kept checking my blood, I kept checking everything, like, whoa, something's going on. Like, I didn't realize that, all the stupid shit you did throughout the year, it's hard to get out of your system in 2 months, and you're 30 pounds up and your body ain't gonna be moving like a system. So it was just a big disconnect, but I didn't realize it at the time. It was just like, I gotta do this. And I tried to make way what I had. He caught me with a shot.
Oh my God, a double hook, short hook, caught Ryan right on the chin, dropped him.
It was more of a push on the second shot. He caught me one shot and then kind of pushed me, knocked me over.
Kellerman and Robert Garcia echo the same warning. Talent is not the issue. Preparation is. Elite gifts without elite discipline plateau fast. And at this level, plateaus become ceiling.
With his dad, which I'm not saying the dad is not, the dad brought him through the amateurs, but when he left his dad or went to seek a different trainer, before he came back to that, he went through 3 different trainers.
Wow.
That means what do you mean? All 3 are not good enough to, they're all 3
Here's the
best in the
Here's
world.
the question. Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
Look, Joe Goosen, I know Joe Goosen. My brother used to train with him. He's not going to just let you get away with stuff like that. Derrick James neither. Eddie Reynoso doesn't need. He's made so much money with Canelo that if you want to come to me, it's going to be under my rules. And if that didn't work, then Ryan's back. So that's I give that big advantage to Barrios to even put.
I agree on one thing. This fight won't test Ryan's left hook. It will test his structure, his maturity, his willingness to submit to a system instead of improvising through chaos. Barrios won't fold because of speed alone. He'll wait, he'll adapt, he'll exploit.
The thing about boxing, and Big Baby Miller pointed it out, because there's no structure. And hopefully that'll happen with Zuffa Boxing, and I am a part of Zuffa Boxing, full disclosure. The first fight coming up on the 23rd.
Oh, congrats, man. Congrats.
But you need some kind of.
On that card,
there you go.
Good.
You need some kind of.
Right?
So the undercard has not been announced yet, but yeah, we could talk about
what his names, but yeah, 2 of them.
But we need some kind of structure. In the NFL, the guy has to sit there for the media interview. He shows up on time. Yep. He's got to do it. Yep. And to give you an NFL analogy, think about the Broncos, right? When they had Russell Wilson over there and he had his own office and everything, and it was nothing. It was dysfunctional. Then they hired Sean Payton.
Cut it out.
As a coach, that's like going to train with Goosen or going to train with a world-class trainer, right? And you knew as soon as Sean Payton got there, ain't no one's going to have their own office.
So here we are, a rebuilt weapon, a returning father, a legendary trainer, a disciplined opponent. This isn't about highlight reels anymore. It's about whether the left hook saves him or whether the flaws around it resurface. When the pressure tightens and the exchanges slow down, will technique carry him or will history repeat itself?